Hi, hello. So today we'll talk about top k frequent element. So given an integer array nums and an integer k, we have to return k most frequent elements, and the answer could be in any order. So let's understand with an example. So if we have, in this example, we have 3, 1. 1 is repeated 3 times, 2 repeated 2 times, and 3 1s. And they're asking that tell us 2 most frequent element. We can see 1 repeated thrice, 2 twice, and 3 1. So these are the 2 most frequent elements. So we will return the answer 1 and 2. Let's better understand. All right, so in this question we have to tell k most frequent elements. Now what we already know, so what is known to us, what we know already, we know that when we have some collection, and from that collection kth element is expected, so we can go with top k element coding pattern. Now in this question they have some collection and they were expecting k most frequent elements, so we can go with top k element coding pattern. Let's see how we can implement that. Take some example. Let's suppose this is 4 4 4 2 2 and 3. 4 is repeated 3 times, 2 repeated 2 times, and 3 is only repeated once. So we can see this is 3 2 1 and most frequent, and like answer should be 4 and 2. Answer 2 and 4 is also correct because order is not expected. We already know that for solving top k element, what are the steps? The first we already talked about, that we have to decide min or max heap. In second we will consider what are the bases, like what are the grounds on which something is considered most frequent or largest or smallest or something. Third, that we have to iterate on, it is some iteration. So this is the whole block diagram for top k element. If you look here, so they're providing us these number of elements and they were asking that which are k most frequent element. You have to return the answer this. Now if we make a map, let's suppose we can say 4 is repeated 3 times, 2 is repeated 2 times, and 3 is repeated 1 time. So this is, we can see that this is a number and that is its count, right? And if we can make some, like the first thing we will decide that either we have to use min heap or max heap. So k most frequent element, we will use some min heap. But so the first thing is clear. Now the second, what are the bases, how we will order that min heap or max heap. So they're asking k most frequent, so that should be the ground for ordering. So order by the count, we will order by count, and that is their expected result. So answer by this, so that is the answer what they are expecting, and we will order by our heap using this count. So we will order by count and answer would be expected in this. So what we can do, we can make some map, a map of num and count. So let's suppose we can use tuple, but for the sake of simplicity we can see that we can make a class which has num and it has count. and we will make a map. That map will keep class, sorry, that it will be num count. So that map will keep num count, and that will be the basis. So we will order by this, and the third we will iterate as we were doing before. Now let's see how we can code this question. All right, so we already know we are going to solve this question using top k element coding pattern, and we know the template, how we have to use it. So first step, we will decide either we have to use min heap or max heap. In the second phase, we will fill our heap, fill heap, and keep k elements. And third, we would return required answer. Now, to follow the same step, first we will talk about either we have to use a min heap or max heap. They're expecting k most frequent element, so we will use min heap. Its ordering is dependent on what? We already talked about that its ordering could be dependent on the count of numbers. So we can make a class, let's suppose case class num count, and the first element would be num and second element would be count. So we will make a priority queue of num count, and it will be min heap, so ordering by count. So we order by count the min heap. And now we talk about that we need something, that some mapping that says that this character has this frequency, this character had this integer has this frequency. So we will prepare that map. We say map that would be nums dot group by identity in Scala. So what is this identity? Means it's a like a morphism. You can say x arrow, like arrow goes from x to x again. So that is its identity. So it means 2 is 2, 3 is 3. So that is their identity. So Scala from that array group them by the identity, and then we say map values by size. Whatever the group size you have, we will make the value. So actually this will create a map that would, let's suppose in our case we have an example of 1 1 1 2 2 and 3, and that would make our map like this, where 1 says I have count of 3, 2 says I have count 2, and 3 says my count is 1. Now once that map is ready, we will keep on going with the second step. We will say map dot for each. We will iterate on it, and we will say, because when we iterate we get num, it is a key value. We say num and its count, that's a key and that's value. So we were saying num and count, and here we will say min heap dot enqueue, and we will make our num count class. I can save even in tuple, but for the sake of readability I'm just using num count. So I can say num and count. Now the next step, we will check if min heap dot size is greater than k. If size increase from the required size of k, we will dequeue. And finally we have to return the answer. I already told you about first thing that like we already talked about, that we have to order by the count, but we have to return the answer. So currently in the min heap we have num count, so we need num, not the count. So we will say min heap dot map the values with num and make it an array. I think I also forgot to import, because import scala dot collection dot mutable. Now if I run the code, that's it. Thanks.